Hello there! Today there are multiple companies that provide us with animated series. However, back when the Saturday morning cartoon was in its infancy, there was one studio that provided audiences with these shows, and their work continues to be admired today. That studio is Hanna-Barbera, founded by animators William Hanna and Joseph Barbera. While Walt Disney Productions was the top producer of theatrical animated features, Hanna-Barbera was a big company creating animated series exclusively for television. And like Mr. Disney's studio, it all started with a mouse. With Tom and Jerry, Hanna-Barbera immediately cemented themselves as major animators. The comically violent duo immediately entered popular culture with a simple concept: a cat chasing a mouse, with a cat receiving one painful hit in the head after another, all with amusing results. The fact that it didn't speak only added to the hilarity and universal appeal. Jerry even cameoed in the Gene Kelly musical Anchors Aweigh, after Walt Disney refused to allow Mickey Mouse to appear in the production. Despite Jerry speaking, it's still a magical dance number. After the closure of the MGM animation department in the late 1950s, Hanna-Barbera entered television with the Rough and Ready show, followed quickly by an even bigger success, the Huckleberry Hound show, about a silver blue dog with a penchant for singing My Darling Clementine.
Everybody's a star on a Huckleberry Hound show, so let's go!
However, Hanna-Barbera's biggest success would come next with a prehistoric updating, so to speak, of the Honeymooners. While animated series were usually neglected to Saturday mornings, the Flintstones were allowed to premiere in prime time, leading the way for future hit animated series like The Simpsons and Family Guy. With its infectious theme song and likable characters, the Flintstones could have easily been just a barrage of rock jokes, but the writers were smart enough to insert some actual storylines that touch upon modern day issues. Add to that, it's wonderfully funny, taking the usual sitcom formulas and actually making us buy into the characters' madcap adventures. It did later add the alien Great Gazoo to the proceedings, and frankly, I don't understand why an animated series would need a love track, and even more confusing is the fact that they celebrate Christmas. But nonetheless, the Flintstones is fully deserving of its pop culture significance.
The most effectual top cat, whose intellectual close friends get to call him TC, providing it's with dignity.
Another series to come out around the same time was Top Cat, which is also Hanna-Barbera's most underrated. Revolving around a gang of alley cats, Top Cat posted an ensemble of funny characters who would do one get-rich-quick scheme after another, while also being chased by the local policeman.
He's a king, but above everything, he's the most tip-top, top cat.
Replacing a quick doll with a picnic basket and a cat with a bear, a new of Hanna-Barbera's next hit, Yogi Bear, based on a series of segments from the Huckleberry Hound show. Yogi Bear was a fun series, but it's their next show I think is their best.
Look at the bears, look at the bears! Sheesh!
Hey, Pop! Look at the bears! Look at the bears! Look at the bears!
Taking place in the 21st century, the Jetsons took 1960s audiences to the future, with a lot of their predictions actually now having come true. With its colorful depiction of this futuristic world and a fun take on the nuclear family, the Jetsons was wonderful television, and it took audiences on a ride never experienced before. Unfortunately, it didn't meet the expectations set by the Flintstones and was cancelled. Yet in a nature similar to Star Trek, reruns allowed it to gain a faithful audience that led to new episodes being created in the 1980s that still managed to keep the enjoyment of the original series. Hanna-Barbera next decided to try their hands at action with shows like Jonny Quest, Fantastic Four, and the Herculoids. However, what most endeared during the late 60s was a show about a crime-solving dog and his teenage friends.
Scooby-Doo, where are you? We got some work to do now. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We need some help.
Scooby-Doo or Are You seems to have remained popular for years, inspiring spin-offs and direct-to-video animated features, and yet, while I enjoy the series at a young age, watching it now, not even nostalgia-tinted goggles can get past the fact that Scooby-Doo is honestly not quite the classic people so fondly remember. What's the main issue I have with Scooby-Doo? Every episode is exactly the same, following a formula that hardly changes. Simply put, if you've seen one episode, you've seen every single one. Similar jokes, similar storylines, and even animation to reuse for every show. In fact, I'm going to reenact every single Scooby-Doo episode for you right now. Well, gang, it looks like we're in a dark and scary forest again. Zoink, Scoob! Hungry for a big sandwich? Yeah! Don't go any further. Jinkies! I'm not going in there. Will you do it for a Scooby snack? Okay, gang, let's split up. Hey, Scoob, we found the kitchen. Oh no, it's the monster.
You've even got me talking in my sleep. 7 days a week.
Well, let's find out who it is. It's Mr. Frederickson, the gardener. That's right, and I would have gone way over too with you meddling kids. And that dog.
We can count on you, Scooby-Doo. I know you'll catch that fish.
See? That's every single episode. The flaws in Scooby-Doo are plentiful, but the repetitiveness is the worst one of all. Following the end of the Flintstones, Hanna-Barbera decided to try its hand at theatrical animated features with a spy parody, A Man Called Flintstone. During the studio's quiet period of the 1970s, they released an adaptation of E.B. White's Charlotte's Web, which still stands as one of Hanna-Barbera's most loved productions. Unfortunately, the original author disliked the film for turning her story into a musical, among other aspects. In the early 1990s, they adapted The Jetsons and Tom and Jerry into feature films, with disastrous results. While The Jetsons suffered due to poor animation, an uncompelling story, and a random music video appearing in the middle of the film, Tom and Jerry fared even worse. All the charm and energy of the original series was completely taken away. When Tom and Jerry given speaking voices, were made friends, and the writers decided to concentrate the story on an orphan girl rather than the two title heroes, who rarely chase each other throughout the film.
The greatest gift in life's a friend.
He's a daily dividend.
Be like us and start a trend. Be friends to the end.
The Flintstones Scooby-Doo even turned to uneven films with live actors playing the roles. Entering the 1980s, Hanna-Barbera started to aim their cartoons towards younger viewers. This actually led to a revival of the studio, thanks to hit series like The Snorks, and even more successfully, The Smurfs, based on a popular Belgian comic. They also started to make shows featuring younger counterparts of the popular shows, thus leading to the Flintstones Kids, Tom and Jerry Kids, and the rare one that was superior to the original, a puppet named Scooby-Doo. Taking the tired formula of Scooby-Doo and parodying it led to a fun series that didn't take itself seriously. In fact, it shouldn't be surprising that the show's creator and main writer, Tom Ruegger, later went on to successfully collaborate with Steven Spielberg to make Time Food Adventures and Animaniacs.
Scooby-Doo, where are you?
During the 1990s, sponsoring new talent would be one of the less producing tasks that William Hanna and Joseph Barbera would be responsible for. When Cartoon Network was started by Ted Turner, he asked the two hitmakers to inspire the young animators to create their own original series. The result was What a Cartoon Show, a place for inspiring writers to showcase their own shorts. Jenny Tatakovsky was the first such creator to jumpstart this with Dex's Laboratory.
Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup have dedicated their lives to fighting crime and the forces of evil.
This massively popular show was soon after followed by Craig McCracken's The Powerpuff Girls, Van Particle's Johnny Bravo, and Seth MacFarlane's Larry and Steve, which would ultimately become Family Guy.
Hey there, baby. Yeah, whatever.
Shortly after Hanna-Barbera passed away, Hanna-Barbera was inserted into Warner Bros. Animation, which has been cracking out poor spin-offs of Tom and Jerry and Scooby-Doo. As for how they will be portrayed in the future, Warner Bros. Is currently in pre-production to make live-action film versions of Tom and Jerry and Yogi Bear, although I will admit that the Jetsons looks promising, while with Robert Rodriguez probably being behind the helm. And well, despite how they may be portrayed in the future, Hanna-Barbera's characters will always be loved thanks to colorful animation and fun writing. See you next time.
Meet George Jetson.